don't. And he's played in poor England sides or what have you that have just had no support from his halfbacks and stuff. When he has got on the field at the end of the year for England or Great Britain, is not regarded in the same breath as Smith, really, because to me.
But Hodgson is, right. That's the thing that people like. Hodgson outplayed Smith in his Dally M year. You know what I mean? So it's a strange situation to be in, isn't it?
I just assume it's going to be it's like the news article came out to remind them that, oh shit, yeah, we've not signed that extension yet, when there was like the top 10 players off contract and stuff like that coming up. They're like, oh crap, James, you've not signed it yet. All right, sorted, see you next year.
Totally.
Anyway,
100%.
Someone else who signed a new extension is Leeds Rhinos prop Brad Singleton. He's signed a 1-year contract extension that will keep him at the club until the end of the 2020 season. The 25-year-old Ireland international has made 129 Super League appearances for the club. Are you happy with this?
Massively. Slow burner was Singo, you know what I mean? He's come through the ranks, cut his teeth, had to pay his dues, and he's a cornerstone of the Leeds pack. Do I think he's ever going to be an international forward in terms of representing England or Great Britain? No, but every club needs players like Brad Singleton, and he's a solid Super League player who leads the Leeds pack, and I wouldn't want to see him play anywhere else. And he was one of these people who've come through Leeds, and it's known that Brian Mack, to some of the kids, especially the props, the forwards, he's tough as shit on them, and he puts them through the paces, and he gives them an hard time, and he grinds them into the dirt and turns them into, winners. And under Jamie Peacock's wing, I think Singo's, Leeds fans can't say enough good things about him. He's never going to set the world on fire, but he's just he's a solid Super League player, and I don't want to see him play anywhere else.
I think the last year and a half has certainly shown like that he deserves to be spoken about in glowing terms as well, rather than just being part of that pack that was really good around him maybe a couple of years earlier than that. So I'm with you on that one.
And Warrington Wolves have re-signed veteran centre. Or does it say He does, yeah. They re-signed Ben Pomeroy on a deal until the end of the season. The 34-year-old made 4 appearances for the Wolves last season. Has been playing with French side. How do we say that? Lesignan, thank you. Yeah. I thought he'd actually moved on and had nothing to do with them anymore. I didn't realise it was a loan deal, so I was surprised to see him back there. But probably just looking for a bit of depth, I would imagine.
Lee Whitnell, who's a Wire fan, says, on the face of it, this is a strange decision. Ben did okay in the middle eights, but was injured for most of the time he was here last year. People around the club spoke about his attitude, mentality and professionalism around training, and I assume that is a big reason why he's back. He adds depth and experience, obviously, at 34. He bagged 4 tries in his farewell appearance for the Lezers on the weekend. So there you go. Castleford Tigers could be without England halfback. This is the injury news section of the show. Castleford Tigers could be without England halfback Luke Gale for up to 3 months after he fractured his kneecap against Wakefield last weekend. Gale failed to return for the second half after clashing knees with Trinity prop Paulie in the first half of the 24-4 Super League win. The 29-year-old has scored 1 try in 10 games and kicked 31 goals this season. So yeah, bad news for Cass. Key part of their makeup, really. So that's,
I think, a massive test for Cass now. Obviously Leeds and Cass have a big rivalry. Surprise, but I think this is make or break for Cass. I've had a look at who they've got coming up. They've got to play St Helens in the Cup and in the league. They've got to play. I think they play Leeds. Yeah, they play Warrington. Is it Warrington? I know they've got another really tough fixture. I don't know if it's against you.
They've got us in June as well, on the international weekend.
They've got you. That's right. I think that's game number 6, and they play KR twice. So I reckon they might only pick up 2 wins out this next run. So let's see how that goes for them. I think there's some hard times ahead at Cass, but I'm sure they'll be happy to prove me wrong.
Yeah, well, the 3 months takes him up to the end of the regular season, doesn't it? So that's
which does, yeah.
So that's going to be crucial to see if they can crawl into a 4th place spot.
I was kind of looking at
for the eights.
I was kind of looking at those next 6 games because I think we're at that crucial stage of the season, and we'll probably get to this with my chomp about the Rhinos, but it's that stage now where you have a kick on or you fade away, and I think Cass are have got a big test coming up in the next couple of months, next 8 weeks, to see where the land lies.
I agree.
So, do you want to move on, or?
Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I think we know about this, and it looked pretty horrible at the time. Wigan Warriors are going to be without Joe Burgess, and he's going to miss the rest of the season. Burgess was injured late in Wigan's 32-24 Super League win against Widnes on the 27th of April. The 23-year-old England international has scored 8 tries for Wigan so far this season, and one of them really innocuous ones. Sean Wayne spoke about it at length, and it's shocking to see something like that in it. You know what I mean? It's just spit gut wrenching.
Yeah, from seeing it live, obviously it looked bad, but you couldn't see just how awkwardly his leg went down. But when I watched the footage of it from the sideline camera, and you can basically see him land and then Whitley go into his leg and bend his knee sideways, you can see why it's proper screwed up. It's a shame because he'd just got. I'd say he was the best winger in the comp in April, because he was doing everything. He was still going at a try a game, whilst his defence had started to improve because it wasn't quite there when he got dropped earlier in the season, and he was that game against Cass. He was absolutely outstanding, a total difference maker. So yeah, it's definitely a shame from that point of view. Luckily, we've got cover there, and we had 2 big performances from wingers, even though they didn't score any tries this week. So we've got cover at least at Wigan.
Well, you've got the best wingers in the comp in terms of depth. You've got those 4 awesome wingers, and everyone's vying for a place. And I think just to touch on that quickly is that the thing that gets me every time, and it's the thing that does me in the most when I see it, and it doesn't matter whether you're my favourite player or my worst player, it's the anguish on the guy's face when they know. And it's so soul destroying to see these kind of warriors, these gladiators who we worship every week, and when you can see on their face that they're panicking like fuck, it's never a pretty thing, because you don't want to see anybody like that, do you?
Tommy Luluai's reaction, stood next to it at the time, told us all we needed to know about how bad this one was going to be.
That's exactly the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Right?
Huddersfield Giants have received a further injury blow after centre winger Aaron Murphy tore his abductor. Murphy limped off early in the second half of Huddersfield's defeat to Warrington last weekend and didn't return. The Giants were hopeful that the 29-year-old had just suffered a strain, but scans show it's a tear. He's now going to miss around about 6 weeks of action.
Yeah, another bad one there. So we've got Wakefield forward Chris Anakin, who again struggles to, with the injuries year in year out, strained his ACL in their derby defeat to Cass and will be ruled out for at least 6 weeks. The 27-year-old will not require surgery but will remain in a brace for 2 weeks.
He's probably already had enough surgeries on that knee to last him, hasn't he? So it's a shame for him. Widnes youngster Liam Walsh, in more positive news, has signed a new 3-year contract with the Vikings, extending his deal until the end of 2021. The 19-year-old joined a bunch of youngsters at Widnes like Matt Whitley, Brad Walker and Danny Walker in making long-term commitments to the club.
Yeah, and Wakefield has signed promising Zimbabwean-born prop Titus, how do we say that?
You've given me Guaze, I'd say.
You give me on purpose, haven't you? Tende Guaze, a 1-year contract. The 9-year-old is a product of the Halifax Elite Rugby Academy, who played in the National Premier League in the college competition.
But this is building on our All-African side that we've been developing in Super League over the last couple of years, though, now, so that's cool.
Exactly. And you get Matty Russell. Go on, you run with that.
So, moving down to the Championship, as Matty Russell is, the Toronto Wolfpack have signed outside back Matty Russell from Warrington Wolves on a 2.5-year deal. The Scotland international, who's 24, has been with the Wire since 2014 after he came back from his spell in the NRL with Gold Coast. He scored 31 tries in 97 appearances. That's actually not very good strike rate. Russell joins former Warrington teammates Gareth O'Brien and Ashton Sims at the Championship club. Lee Whitnell got in touch on this one. Said, in lots of ways, I'm sad to see him go. When he's running the ball early in sets, he can be electric. He never lacks effort, and when his confidence was up a few seasons ago, he was capable of some special moments. His confidence took a huge knock last season when he was a defensive liability in some high-profile games and only seemed to pick up playing against lesser teams in the middle eights. This season was deja vu for him in those early games. Charnley is a huge upgrade, and Mitch Brown is a better all-round player too, so it's understandable that Steve Price wants to get him off the wage bill. At Championship level, Matty will thrive, and I hope that and a new environment will help him rediscover his confidence, and I hope to see him back in Super League soon. However, I reserve the right to retract any well wishes if he beats us in the Challenge Cup next week. Matty Russell is an interesting one because he does so much good stuff for them, but obviously from that record, it's kind of culpable of two things. He doesn't score enough tries, and he gives away too many tries in individual one-on-one situations, and that's kind of ultimately what's cost him when Warrington are looking to be a top club this year.
All I've got to say is Matty Russell played for the Gold Coast Titans. I must have been drunk when that happened. I don't remember it.
He moved to the Gold Coast Titans.
Yeah, he lived at Burley. He played for Burley Bears for a year, did he?
I think he was young enough, maybe still at the time, to have been playing in what was the NYC team.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember.
So I think he went quite well in the youth team, but never got a go in the senior team. Yeah. I hope it sorts him. I hope he can be sorted and be more happy and stuff and settled there though, because he's a player who does try hard. So that's when you're talking about players who wasted the talent. Matty Russell is not that. He gets everything he can out of what he's got. I feel like because he's so hard working.
Yeah, definitely. But he's always, he's not slow, and that Tony Smith scoot out of dummy half.
He suited that.
He was perfect for that. Yeah, I think they still play a bit of that, but it's not all the time now. I think Steve Price has got a different mentality about how he wants the game to be played.
He doesn't want it to be six of them in a row, so Darryl Clark doing it's enough.
That's right, and I think that's not Matty Russell's fault. That's just that's the sign of the times and where the club's moving. So I think he's a solid Super League player. I know some of the boys have seen him a lot more than me, like Lee, but I think he's a solid player. So moving on, we've got Toronto forward Ronnie Matua retired for a second time after making just 8 appearances for the Wolfpack. The 35-year-old joined the club on a short-term deal to help during a major injury crisis, and impressed as Toronto went unbeaten with him in the team. However, he has suffered a syndesmosis injury during the club's victory over Batley, which kept him out for the remainder of his contract, essentially.
Yeah, I didn't even realise that it was supposed to be a short-term deal, but this suggests that it was supposed to be a short-term deal. Someone else who's no doubt going to be doing a short-term stint is Tommy Gallagher. He's come out of retirement at the age of 34, over 2 years since hanging up the boots. Gallagher, who played at clubs like Hull KR, Widnes and Lee during his lengthy career, has decided to return to action with Swinton, where he's currently assistant to head coach Stuart Littler.
I don't really know enough about him, to be honest.
I remember him playing in the Championship for people like Dewsbury, I'm sure, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember him playing for any of them clubs that this day he played at, so there you go.
So, Toulouse forward Sam Repair has been ruled out for 3 months with a bicep injury. Repair, 31, suffered a rupture of his left bicep tendon in the win over Swinton and had surgery last Monday. There's been a lot. It's that time of the season, isn't it, where bodies are breaking down.
Yeah, exactly. He maybe just might get back for the middle eights, which would be a big boost for them at that stage, getting a forward who can play at the top level at that stage.
Yeah.
Down into League One now, and League One style much maligned West Wales Raiders. If you want to read some more about West Wales and Toronto, Dave Cantrell sent us an email in the week, and we put it up as a blog at superleaguepod.com if you want to read that. Anyway, League One side West Wales Raiders have announced that coach John Ellis has left the club with immediate effect just days after they were on the wrong side of a record-breaking defeat against York. Ellis leaves the Raiders bottom of League One after just 5 games into their season, in which they had conceded over 400 points already at that stage.
It's like kicking a can down the street, isn't it? Is he to blame for those kind of things? Obviously, they're just looking for something. Maybe he feels his position's untenable, but I think I don't know enough about the club. I don't know enough about him, but you can't be blaming a coach for what's going on there.
I think one of the things with Ellis is he kind of was not really experienced massively at the semi-pro level, from what I understand. So possibly, then that might have been a good fit because none of the players are experienced that they seem to be able to keep on the books. But maybe they wanted to try and bring in someone who'd been around the League One environment a bit more, because they've put Phil Carlton in back in charge. Now he was around the club still, but he was in charge of them when they were the Iron Men last year. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that can help move things forward a little bit, because we only want the best for clubs like West Wales, really, and don't want to see what's been going on lately, certainly.
100%. Like I said, I think it's